DIY energy devices are often presented as simple by design. Build it yourself. Save money. Take control. No middlemen. No complexity. That promise is exactly what draws people in. The idea feels empowering. If energy can be generated with a few components, some basic tools, and a free weekend, why wouldn't more people do it? But what looks simple on the surface usually becomes more complicated the moment it meets real life. Most people start with curiosity, not commitment. They watch videos, read guides, see projects that claim to turn scrap parts into usable power. The message is clear. This isn't industrial energy, it's accessible energy. At first, everything seems manageable, parts lists are short, diagrams look clean. The logic makes sense. Energy goes in, energy comes out. If something breaks, you fix it yourself. That's the appeal. Then practice begins. Assembly takes longer than expected. Measurements matter more than they looked on screen. Small inefficiencies compound. Connections that seemed optional turn out to be critical. Still, people push through. The device works technically. A panel produces power. A turbine spins. A generator charges a battery. That first success feels validating. This is where expectations quietly diverge from reality, because producing energy isn't the same as relying on it. Once people try to integrate DIY energy into daily use, friction appears. Output fluctuates. Conditions matter. Weather matters. Timing matters. Storage becomes a problem instead of an afterthought. So the project grows, extra components are added. Safety measures increase. Redundancy becomes necessary. What started as a simple build now needs monitoring, adjustment, and protection. The frustration isn't that DIY devices don't work. It's that they don't stay simple. People often assume complexity comes from bad design. But that's not the real source. The deeper issue is context. DIY energy devices are usually demonstrated in isolation. A controlled setup, a short test, a clear success moment. Real life doesn't operate that way. Homes, appliances, and habits assume consistent power. DIY systems produce variable power. Bridging that gap requires buffers, controls, and trade-offs. At first, explanations stay shallow. People say the design needs refinement, or the materials weren't optimal, or the build quality wasn't high enough. Those explanations feel fixable and sometimes they're, but even well-built DIY systems hit the same wall. Then comes the turning point. The real issue isn't that DIY energy devices are poorly made. It's that simplicity doesn't scale when reliability becomes the goal. Energy systems don't just produce power. They manage uncertainty. Utilities do this with redundancy, forecasting, infrastructure, and scale. DIY projects inherit that responsibility the moment they're asked to do more than demonstrate a concept. That's when the emotional shift happens. What felt empowering can start to feel demanding. Monitoring replaces freedom. Maintenance replaces novelty. The project stops being a build and starts being a commitment. This doesn't mean DIY energy is pointless. It means its value is often misunderstood. DIY devices are excellent learning tools. They make energy visible. They teach constraints, losses, and dependencies in a way polished systems hide. They build intuition, not convenience. People who stay satisfied usually redefine success. They stop expecting seamless replacement of the grid. They use DIY energy for specific, bounded purposes. Charging devices, powering tools, supporting experiments, not running entire lives. Once expectations align, simplicity returns not in the device, but in the relationship with it. This reframes the original question. DIY energy isn't simple in practice if the goal is reliability. It becomes simple when the goal is understanding. That distinction explains why many people quietly stop expanding their projects. Not because they failed, but because they learned what they needed to learn. Energy looks easy when it's invisible. DIY makes it visible, and visibility always comes with complexity. If you want a structured breakdown of how people actually experience DIY energy projects, including where expectations usually break down, there's a practical framework linked in the description. If this kind of grounded analysis helps you think more clearly about hands-on energy projects, consider subscribing. More long-form breakdowns like this are coming.